Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Darkfather Wave. Today I'll be reviewing this wave in the following categories: accessories, articulation, design. Are these figures essential to your collection, functionality, and price? Once those scores are totaled, I give you my opinion if this wave is a pass or a purchase. So when I first saw this wave, I thought, what cool looking characters. Really happy what I see. Can't wait to build this Darkfather. Let's open this wave up. So for accessories, this is pretty bad. Just to think, all of these accessories come with 4 figures. I've seen more that comes with 1 figure. So let's get started. Here we have one pair hands that come with Superman. Wonder Woman does not come with an alternate pair of hands, neither does Batman. And you get these hands that comes with the Robin King. You receive this weapon, which is way too soft. If you can see, this comes with Wonder Woman and it is very warped. So I'll try to heat that up in order to straighten it out. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. Then you receive this weapon, this guitar, with this sort of scythe at the end of it. This certainly looks cool and is without a question the best accessories within this set. You also, of course, get the Mcfarlane stand as well as the card. And that's it. Well, also if you want to include the Build-A-Figure pieces. So for overall accessories, this is pretty disappointing. I'm going to give this wave a 3 out of 10. So for articulation, let's start with Robin King. So the head is able to barely look up at all. It's able to look down. It does rotate. You get some pivot and some shift back and forth. The arm is restricted from this piece, so it only goes out till about that much. In order to get it to rotate a full 360, you need to set it to the side and maneuver it around to do so. So you have an upper bicep cut. Next point of rotation appears to be at the wrists, which are on a ball peg, so you get this to move any way you like. The elbows are double jointed, bending nearly all the way in. So now with the torso, this appears to be a singular piece. Not sure if there's movement underneath. Feels a little bit soft. So let's see. He can't move forward. Can't move backwards. Really no pivot. And it doesn't appear that there's even a waist swivel. One of my legs fell off. So the legs are able to come off pretty easy. Let's get that pop back on. Back to the legs, they're able to kick. Definitely going to talk about that in functionality. They're able to kick forward, really not that far. Backwards about that much. You do have upper rotation, which the legs fall off when doing so. Next point of rotation is under the knee. The foot is able to rotate. It's able to go all the way down, up a great amount. And you get some pivot that's on an angle, and you have toe articulation. The knees are single jointed, only bending in this much. And it doesn't appear that there's any butterfly joint. So let's go with Batman. So the head is able to look up a good amount. It's able to look down. You do get some rotation as well as pivot. The head shifts back and forth. The arm is able to go out about that much. It does rotate a full 360. You have an upper bicep cut. Next point of rotation are at the wrists, which are on a ball peg, so you can move them how you need to. The arms are double jointed, bending all the way in. Fantastic. Moving to the torso, you have a floating A and B portion. So just using the A, he's able to crunch forward that much. Backwards, sort of snaps back due to the jacket. You get a good amount of rotation as well as pivot. Using the combination of the two, he's able to crunch forward, not a great amount. Back a bit further, but he springs back due to the jacket. You do have rotation. Don't think it's rotation at the waist, but you get added pivot as well as range. The legs are able to go, I want to say all the way out. It's a little bit restricted from the jacket. They're able to kick forward about that much. Backwards, barely any. You have that weird Mcfarlane rotation. Actually, the top doesn't rotate. Here's where you get the rotation. At the thigh cut. Oh, just realized there's a thigh cut. Next point of rotation will be at the foot. Foot is able to go all the way down, up a good amount. Pivot on a weird angle. You have toe articulation. The knees are double jointed, bending in about that much. And if there's a butterfly joint, there is a butterfly joint. Hard to It's not hard, actually. It moves in that much, backwards that much. So looking at Superman, the head is barely able to look up. It does look down, rotate, good amount of pivot, shifts back and forth. The arm is able to go out that much. It can rotate a full 360. Upper bicep cut, next point of rotation are at the wrists, which are on a ball peg. Elbows are double jointed, bending all the way in. Torso, floating piece. It's able to crunch forward, none at all. Backwards a lot further. Good rotation as well as pivot. Using a combination of the two, moves forward that much, backwards a lot further. Waist swivel, pivot, and great rotation. The legs are able to kick out that much. Kick forward that much, backwards that much. That weird Mcfarlane rotation, next point of rotation, there is no next point, coming all the way down to the foot. Pretty restricted. Barely moves up, barely moves down, toe articulation, and it barely pivots. The knees are double jointed, bending in about that much, and you have a no butterfly joint. Okay, moving on to Wonder Woman. So the head is barely able to look up due to the hair. It's able to come down, turn, some pivot, really no shift. The arm is able to go up that much. Unsure if you can get it to rotate a full 360, but there is an upper bicep cut. Elbows are double jointed, bending almost all the way in. The wrists are on a peg. You get to turn it where you need to. So due to Wonder Woman's armor, this is a singular piece. At least it appears to be so, but it's very soft. So Wonder Woman's able to move forward, none at all. Way back, rotation at the waist. You get some pivot as well as rotation. The legs are able to kick nearly all the way out to the side. Move forward about that much. Backwards all the way. You get that Mcfarlane rotation, no upper thigh cut. Next point of rotation is at the foot, which goes down that much, forward that much. Really doesn't pivot in. Toe articulation. Knees are double jointed, bending in about that much. And you have a butterfly joint moving forward that much. Really restricted from this armor piece and hair, moving backwards that much. So for articulation, Batman is the star of the show, certainly has the best movement, which I'm surprised as he has this long coat. Robin is the worst out of the bunch, which I'm also surprised. I figured that he would be one of the more articulated figures. So I'm doing a combined score. So for overall articulation, I'll be giving these figures a 7 out of 10. So for design, I have to admit, Mcfarlane did an awesome job. Just looking at the overall design, the amount of colors that's been poured into all of these figures, especially Wonder Woman. So looking at some of the source material, I'm seeing some differences with the helmet, so that's not exact. Also, the colors in the comic are a lot vibrant. Here's a much muted red. It is a matte color instead of something metallic, which it appears to be in the comics, and the blues also appear more vibrant, as well as the gold. I'm surprised that this gold is that dull, as Mcfarlane typically is point on with armor bits, usually using metallic paint. So with the Robin King, also really great details here. Now, in the comic, this section is different. It's more cross stitch. However, this is a complete, well, this is a reuse of the Damian Wayne body, so this is why we have this here. But aside from that, just looking at all of the different colors, you can see the purple and green. Really a lot of paint went on these figures, and the head sculpt is fantastic. Really love the texturing of the cape. I think right now for plastic figures, Mcfarlane has to make the best capes. They're textured, they're very soft. So jumping over to Batman, just taking a look at the small details, making sure that the spikes are painted. There's definitely some dry brushing on them, and even moving to the smaller spikes on the arm. The buckles are also painted on the jacket. You open here, you see silver bits. So really happy with the amount of detail that we're getting. Now with the Superman, this is the only figure to where I'll say the head sculpt is off. Something happens right around the mouth. The chin line is way too thick, perhaps. So while the hair is good, I think it could have been a little bit longer. That chin is really throwing me off. Also, the colors in the comic, this blue is a lot more vibrant. It's not this dark. Don't think the chains themselves are as thick as well. So for overall design, I'm pretty happy, even though there are some inconsistencies, and I'm going to give these figures an 8 out of 10. So if I was scoring the importance of having these particular designs, this wave would come in relatively low. What's going to be the saving grace for some of these figures when it comes to scoring? Think about how long DC figures have been made. Never have we received versions such as this. And perhaps this is going to be the only time that we get such figures like that. Also will help the scoring is that these figures are within the same wave. So you don't have to worry about possibly only getting this version of Wonder Woman from the comics and not getting the other figures. So as far as being essential to your collection, I'm going to give this wave a 6 out of 10. So for functionality, we don't have a lot to go over here. Let's just start with Wonder Woman. So the hair is very restrictive, prevent her from moving up, as well as the armor and the hair combined gets in the way. Now, what I do like is that the cape is very soft and pliable. Though it's not fabric, it just doesn't get in the way. Great, fantastic cape. So with this armor bit, it is very soft. Hopefully you can see it squishing as I'm applying pressure. So I like that this is not a solid hard piece, as it allows her to move somewhat. So Wonder Woman doesn't come with hands. She does come with one accessory. So let's go ahead and get that accessory in that open grip hand. So the accessory is in hand. She's able to move it up and down as a weapon holding hand should be. Let's slide Wonder Woman out of the way. Moving next to Superman. Superman, I'm having a hard time standing. He's actually using the Mcfarlane base. The only thing he comes with are interchangeable hands. This one is different. It does not have the ball peg plug-in system. So let's see how that hand works. So I barely had to apply any pressure to get it to move. The hand came out very easy. And for this one, hand also came out very easy. Yeah, I think that goes in a little bit too easy, but it doesn't fall off. It does feel a little bit loose. So moving on to Batman, I am really impressed with this coat. It is super soft, like the capes on the other figures. It really gets out of the way. I don't, however, like this lack of movement when it comes to the leg. However, I'm giving it somewhat of a pass as there's a thigh cut underneath it. So really this doesn't hinder the Batman from moving. Batman comes with this guitar. I don't know which hand he holds it in, but both hands appear to be open. The guitar is super pliable, too much if you ask me. And in order to get it in, let's work on that. Okay, so the hands are very hard and the guitar is very soft. That did not make an easy combination to get the guitar and hands, however, it does work. Unsure if it goes this way, as it appears that this should probably be facing up. However, you can do what's needed to make him fit. And Batman has no problem doing the stand test, as well as Wonder Woman, even though she has heels. So moving to this figure is most problematic. The legs on mine just fall off with any movement. I will definitely be deducting points for each leg. Moving on to the torso, it is the most restrictive out of the bunch. Even though Wonder Woman has a similar one-piece torso, that one is very soft and it allows for some movement. This one, you can feel softness on the side, but it does not allow for movement. Also, a lot of what's supposed to be feathers do get in the way. It's just the design of it. So Robin comes with alternate hands. However, I will be leaving these on permanently. The clawed version, they just look better to me. He comes with one-fisted. Oh, it's pretty tight. Ooh, that was kind of tough to get on. So there you go. So for overall functionality, there aren't a lot of accessories to use with the figure to see how they really work. And Robin will be the one that really brings the score down for this wave. So for overall functionality, I'll be giving this wave a 6 out of 10. So before we jump to pricing, let's go ahead and combine the father figure. So the torso comes with the Robin King. The head, as well as the cape, comes with Wonder Woman. We're just going to prop those items on. I want to put the legs on next, which come with Batman, as this belt piece will fall off. Didn't hear a pop. I'll make sure it's as secure as can be. And let's pop in the arms, which come with Superman. I don't know who thought of this or who designed this, but this is fantastic. I am really feeling this Batman Darkseid. So the head is able to look up about that much. It does look down, rotate, good amount of pivot. It does shift back and forth. Now, when combining this figure, the arms are the only part that really felt secure. I could hear them snapping in. So with the arms, they're able to go out about that much. You have an upper bicep cut. Next point of rotation is at the wrist. Elbows are, spikes are tough. Single jointed, bending in about that much. You do have a floating torso. Goes forward, barely any. Backwards, a lot more. Does rotate. You have some pivot using a combination of the two. Doesn't appear there's a waist swivel moving forward. Not a lot, backwards a lot further. Good pivot as well as overall rotation. So with the legs, they did not feel secure at all. I'll probably heat the legs up and try to pop them back in, as I'm pretty sure when I pull the legs apart, they're gonna fall off. So the legs go out about that much. Do rotate, no upper thigh cut. You do have double jointed knees bending in that much. You do have rotation. The feet go down all the way, up a great amount. Decent pivot inside, outside. You also have toe articulation. Also, there is a butterfly joint collapsing in that much, backwards that much. So for pricing, each figure comes in at $25. So for the entire wave, you're looking at $100. That's before taxes. That is before shipping. I didn't have to pay for shipping for my item. So add in taxes, you're looking about $110 for the wave. So is it worth the price of admission? Well, let's see what it comes with. In terms of accessories, this is where Mcfarlane has to improve. It's just not a lot that's included. The draw for this is definitely going to be the collect and build or the unique designs of each character. This version of Batman, we'll say that. We'll save that part. So going back to the designs, Mcfarlane really added in paint. You have, for the most part, unique sculpts. All of this for $100. So for pricing, I'm going to give this wave a 10 out of 10. That should give this overall wave a cliff score of. So now is this a pass or a purchase? I think that these are cool action figures. I know some people are so tired of getting Batmans with Mcfarlane, as that right now appears to be the focus. However, every Batman figure I feel is very specific. There is source material, and he's focusing on a very specific comic or very specific event. For me, this Batman Darkseid is a must-have. While the other figures are cool, that's the one that I must own. So is this a pass or a purchase? For me, it's an absolute purchase. You add in the price, you add in the individual sculpts. I really think that this is a great wave. Considering for something like Marvel Legends, you have to buy 6, sometimes 7 figures just to build a character. I almost feel for the price point, this Build-A-Figure was free. So I won't be adding in any other size comparison, as each of these figures are close to their own individual scale. So just looking at the wave as a total should give you an idea of how tall, small each figure is. So I want to thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. I hope to see you during the next review.